When the stage becomes the box, the self begins to collapse. By Alfonso Fons Lopez, Infinite Box Theory, Series 2. A trending moment entered the timeline this week: a comedian, a conversation, and a wave of collective reaction. The surface story is familiar, but Infinite Box Theory never studies surfaces. It studies structures. It studies the moment when a person in public space unknowingly steps into a geometry they cannot see, and the shape around them suddenly becomes undeniable. Through the IBT lens, this event is not about relationships, controversy, or commentary. It is about a performer who discovers he is no longer performing. He has become the performance. This is the shift that matters. The collision that reveals the wall. Comedians perform with words, mimes perform with walls. This moment fused both images into a single frame: a man speaking freely, confidently, and a man discovering the limits of his own narrative architecture. IBT calls this the revelation of invisible walls. The walls do not suddenly appear. They were always there. A wall becomes visible only when the individual collides with the constraint that has been quietly shaping their motion. The collision is not a failure. It is a structural revelation. Invisible agreements and the cost of shared exposure. Many couples move into the digital sphere together, building a shared voice, a shared brand, a shared momentum. The pattern is almost always the same. One partner seeks visibility. The other supports the ascent. Both believe they understand the stakes, but visibility contains a cost that is rarely priced correctly. Once the narrative becomes public, the narrative no longer belongs to you. IBT names this expansion phase algorithmic expansion. When an ecosystem grows in speed, size, and complexity faster than the humans inside it can map or adapt, the box enlarges, the story accelerates, and the participants discover they are no longer steering the mechanism is steering them. When the box stops being a stage and becomes a mirror. IBT describes a critical threshold, the moment when a box that once supported performance transforms into a mirror. In digital spaces, identity is increasingly formed not by internal truth, but by clipped moments, reaction videos, commentary loops, projection, cultural shorthand. The mirror does not distort. It translates identity into activation signals, shapes that gather engagement. When the mirror turns, identity compresses. The individual becomes whatever the ecosystem reflects most intensely, not who they are, but what the story requires. Symbolic containment, the roles assigned by the ecosystem. As the narrative spread, discussion shifted away from individuals and toward symbols: the joke, the betrayed husband, the naive romantic, the one who didn't see it coming. These are not character judgments, they are symbolic containers, roles that crystallize from the ecosystem, not the person. IBT calls this symbolic containment. The moment when the public defines a role so loudly and repetitively that the individual disappears inside the assigned container. Containment is not punishment, it is structural efficiency. Roles help large audiences process complexity quickly, at the cost of collapsing the person into a single symbolic function. The algorithm has no loyalty. One of IBT's central laws: the algorithm has no allegiance to your intention, your relationship, or your emotional truth. It rewards only activation. It does not distinguish between what was meant, what was unintended, what was vulnerable, what was accidental. Once released, the narrative evolves into a self-propelling system. The mechanism becomes the storyteller. This, too, is geometry. The IBT lesson: the internal narrative must be louder than the external one. This moment, like many public moments, is not about the people involved. It's about the structure. It's about anyone who has ever lived partially in public space, anyone who has ever posted their life, anyone who has had identity shaped by an unseen, ever-expanding audience. The infinite box appears the moment the external narrative becomes louder than the internal one. The danger is not criticism. The danger is collapse of self-narrative. when the mirror's reflection begins to feel more real than the foundational internal truth. IBT argues this is where modern identity fractures. The remedy is not disappearance, it is awareness. Awareness of the invisible agreements we enter the mirrors we stand before, the roles that may crystallize around us, the algorithms we activate, the structures we inhabit without realizing it. Because once you see the architecture, you do not move blindly anymore. And once you understand how identity is shaped in public systems, the box may still exist, but it no longer holds the exclusive power to define you. Awareness does not erase the box, it restores authorship.